Hey. This is Christine. You're following in my journey through weight loss and following other routines, even though I have ADHD and plenty of other excuses to fail. So we are still testing out the diet regulating bracelet, and I am having so much fun with this. It really is helping. But as far as tracking, it lets me know where the red flags are, and it lets me know when I'm going above my maintenance calories, and that is so much fun. However, I keep getting these like hungry moments where I'm going over my points. So I've been like struggling, like what do I do? Sometimes it's just because I'm on a cycle. Sometimes I think it's just because I'm having kind of like a day where I just haven't been eating enough, whatever's triggering it. Like if I haven't had enough food a couple days before. So where we're at right now, we're kind of trying to get through that hormonal phase by increasing, satiety, the satiety of food, satiety, the satiating feeling you get from eating food. And one of the best ways to do that is increasing your fiber. So when I was really hungry, I went ahead and ate extra raw vegetables, went and had a salad. I've been working on just kind of increasing that in my diet, and also having the psyllium husk with water, and make sure you put it in those tumbler glasses, shake it up really fast, and then chug it so it's not so bad. That's all been working. But guess what happened? What happened to the scale when I increased fiber, when I increased the psyllium husk? And that's the thing that bloats up in your stomach, and it's going to make you crave less calories. Well, I craved less calories, but what happened to the scale? Nothing, right? And that's because every time you're going to be increasing your fiber, you're actually going to see the scale pause or even go up for a couple days to a couple weeks, just depending on how low on fiber you were. It's still a great time to go ahead. It's just also a great time to adjust what your standards are, like what you're expecting, your expectations for what that's going to happen. So while we wait for my body to catch up with things, we're just looking for other signs that things are going well, and that's where the bracelet comes back into play. Because I was having trouble keeping with the beads, but when I have the psyllium fiber, and I've been eating more raw vegetables and stuff, or even some roasted ones, but the raw ones really kick the spot with that potato and stuff like that. All of those things have made me eat less of the bad food and more of the good food. So this is one of those times to pay attention to these numbers and ignore the scale's numbers, right? Because the scale is going to be lying. The scale is telling us how much the puffed up jelly inside of our guts weighs, and not like how much we weigh, right? You might even see your stomach get a little bit distended in those first couple of weeks of increasing your fiber. That's perfectly normal. What you're supposed to do is just enjoy that, and you're supposed to keep track, make sure that the other food that you're eating is sticking as well as it can to the macros, as well as it can to your hunger points and everything. As long as we're kicking that down the road just correctly, it's going to take about a week or two, but it will catch up with us. And that's, I think, a lot of the reason why people, when they get away from carbs and then they bring back carbs, they notice such a spike back up. And it's just because your body is getting used to having fiber again. And so I think a lot of people get kind of misconstrued about the information with that. Your body does have fiber requirements, it has carb requirements. It's the reason why you get so grumpy on those diets. And then I've heard people, they're just like, I couldn't take it anymore and I had to do it, So if it feels good, I'm not trying to diss other plans to make people feel healthy and well, but I am going to talk about what we're trying to do, which is food regulation. And we want to have a diverse amount of food. We want to be able to eat everything. We want to be able to eat out. We want to be able to eat home. We want to be able to prep food if we can. We want to be able to go at Taco Bell if we feel like it, right? And so our plan is going to require something that a lot of other plans don't require, and that's patience. Patience. We are using this to create an intuitive plan, and those kind of things take time to adjust. So over the next couple weeks, I might not even really be counting on the scale outside of, I'll be managing, I'll be watching it, but I'm not counting on that scale running down with me for the next 2 weeks. If it does, I'm going to be surprised. I'm going to lower that expectation as long as I'm meeting this expectation here. I'm going to let my fullness points and the way that my body is craving food tell me how well I'm doing. I'm not even going to look at my tummy because it might be a little puffy, and guess what? That's an illusion. When we break through illusions, we find solutions, okay? And this is definitely where we're going next. I can't guarantee that it's gonna work, but I can say that if I'm eating fewer calories, there's a bunch of people out there who would indicate the idea that that would lead to me continuing to meet those goals. And if I talk to some nutritionists and some dietitians, I'll bet you they would also tell me that those healthy carbs and vegetables are going to do great to help me keep my skin nice and also give me lots of energy to burn so that I can keep those workout programs going. All of those things combined, especially with it being something that allows me no real restrictions when it comes to whether I want to go out and have fun with my friends or eat at a restaurant, that should turn into close enough to an all-natural, healthy lifestyle that goes without effort. In the long run, my hope is to definitely stick with some of the plans and ideas. Like, I'll probably keep doing the higher fiber and everything. I want probably keep with my macros in the long run, but I might not worry about the scale so much in the long run, and I might just be happy as long as I'm sticking with my bracelet. So, not much else to say today. Except for I found another high fiber hack. And it was, of course, on the internet, and I don't know who the original creator is. It's like one of those older ones that like I took, because I found it. If you take a box of brownies, and I use the Ghirardelli like ultimate chocolate ones that has like the sauce and the chocolate chips in it, so it's like extra chocolate. And you use a drained, rinsed, blended can of black beans, and you're gonna have to stick with me here. I almost vomited making this recipe because of the smell of the beans with the chocolate. It didn't smell like it was going to taste very good. And then they tell you to also mix in a half a cup of coffee. So I had our espresso maker. I made a half a cup of some lovely espresso, and I put that in there and I mixed it all together. And I, again, about vomited. The smell combination was just like, I am very sensitive to these things. And I baked it and I tried it when it was hot, and it tasted it tasted like you made a box of brownies with black beans and coffee. But then a miracle happened, and I said, wait, maybe it's because it's hot. And I said, just give it one more shot, Christy. Put that thing in the refrigerator and let it cool down, and I did. And then I cut it up into little squares, and I'm telling you what, those are some of the most filling, absolute just fudgy. They're very thick. It's kind of like a dense, you're almost getting like a fudge, but like brownie flavored fudge. You actually don't taste the beans. You really don't taste the coffee. I swear it just tastes like a bite of chocolate, and it filled me up so much. I had this square like this big. It was this tiny little square, and you're not getting like your whole fiber for the day, but we're trying to do better is better recipes sometimes. I had like that with the psyllium husk, and I was like completely full for the whole morning, which is great, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna keep having little squares of those when I want like something chocolate but chewy. I still have my yogurt chocolate pudding cups in there, and I probably need to make another some gelatin, with that, because I do love to do that kind of stuff. But that actually, I really, really, really was afraid of it, and at the end I questioned it. It still makes me nauseous to make the recipe, but I promise you, it tastes kind of like a dense fudge chocolate brownie. And on that note, guys, I hope that you are doing very, very great things this week, and I hope you're treating yourself very, 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 very well. Cheers.